Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this from the Telegraph. Left-wing activists who want to shut down Musk's X handed taxpayer cash. Conservative MP expresses dismay, saying public money being used to fund political vendettas. Vendettas. There you go. Much better. So basically, it confirms what we all suspected all along. It's that their ban on X following the, Nazi sign that they claim he did, which is not true. I debunked that nonsense a few days ago. Is that this is not organic. As it turns out, they used it as an excuse to go after him. So that explains a buttload as to why everything happened with their ban, and multiple subreddits ended up banning it. It's quite telling. But then again, it's the left, and the left absolutely fucking strives and loves censorship. They say they don't, but their actions are very telling. This is a very good example of that. Here. The Center for Counting Digital Hate, CCDH, which aims to kill Musk's Twitter, has received £300,000 from organizations partly funded by the taxpayer. The group was set up to curb online hate speech and disinformation. The problem with people who claim they curb disinformation is that they often are spreaders of disinformation, but especially disinformation that are part of the narrative and part of the party. Yeah, Orwell kind of all warned us about those things. Because you dare not criticize the party or the narrative, or you will be labeled as a heretic, and you will be curbed as such. Another group, Stop Funding Hate, this one we all know, which targets advertisers that do business with outlets including the Daily Mail, The Sun and GB News, has received £100,000 from a foundation that receives grants from the taxpayer. Why am I not surprised that this is happening? The problem is that, as they say here, it was done during the conservative years too. But the problem is that the conservatives in Britain are just, Democrats going slightly above the speed limit. And the thing is that many times they are not aware of what it's doing, what the left hand is doing with the, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and it becomes a problem, especially because these people tend to infest and become a parasite inside organizations, government agencies and businesses, etc. So they tend to hide where the money is going and what they are planning to do. They tend to, hire more activists, and eventually when you notice, your company is going under. Well, before I continue, here is something awesome. Yeah, right. So continuing. Stop Funding Hate, run by Richard Wilson, a Remainer and supporter of Jeremy Corbyn. That name, yes. Exactly. The guy who kind of led some of the most anti-Semitic moments of the Labour Party in the UK. Here from The Guardian itself, and as you know, it's an ultra-far left publication, so you know it's bad when they're possibly even the allegedly far left publications who tend to side with terrorists against Israel publishes this. Key findings on the EHRC inquiry into Labour anti-Semitism, breakdown of Watchdog's 130-page report on party's handling of anti-Semitism complaints. It was really bad. Here, Al BBC, which is government-funded but sides with left-wing policies and tends to side with terrorists, which is why in the UK it's known as Al BBC. Labour suspends Jeremy Corbyn over reaction to anti-Semitism report. So once... do you want to bet that Stop Funding Hate maybe kind of got triggered over Elon's sign and suddenly, well, it completely labels him as a Nazi and then forgets their stuff, the things that they tend to support? Want to bet that something like that happened? Yeah, we saw that with our almost on the left. Lately, almost everybody on the left did it. They criticize Elon while completely and utterly ignoring their support for Hamas and how they tend to tear down the hostage posters, how they are, they label Zionists and as Nazis, and people who support Israel, Jews, they go and commit pogroms and chant genocidal, songs, screeches. I think screeches are a better definition to what they say. Hey, weaponize hypocrisy. That's the thing that they do a lot on the left. While pressure groups claim to oppose all forms of hate, Rosie Elam, its director, previously called Rishi Sunak an absolute fucker, and in 2023, Amanda Morris, a former Stop Funding Hate community organizer, was exposed for sharing allegedly anti-Semitic content on social media. She denied the posts were anti-Semitic, saying the posts are all forms of racism. Don't worry. They don't view Zionists as, people. That's why I know how much hate we all receive. I am a staunch Zionist. Anyway, continuing. It has also received £200,000 from Esme Fairbank Foundation, which has 1.3 billion in assets and received over £300,000 of taxpayer cash from the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. Holy shit, what? Why would the Department for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs fund this thing? It makes no sense. Do you see what I said? There is a lot of corruption and things like when you let these activists infest government agencies, businesses, and everything else, they tend to do those things. I told you, it's really bad. But I'm not surprised at the things from that happened on Reddit. Well, wasn't organic at all. Pretty clear, isn't it? That's how the left tends to operate lately. Well, anyway. Cheery bye.